This love you think you feel might look like your greatest joy, but it's not what you think. It's a carefully crafted trap designed to destroy you. Most people believe love is a magical connection, a beautiful moment where two souls perfectly align. But what if everything you've been told about love is a lie? What if love is actually nature's most brutal weapon, carefully designed to break you down piece by piece? Arthur Schopenhauer, a philosopher who saw through the romantic illusions of his time, understood something most people are too afraid to admit. Love isn't about connection, it's about survival. And survival doesn't care about your happiness, it only cares about continuing the species, no matter the personal cost. Imagine being a prisoner and not even knowing you're locked up. That's what love does to you. It makes you believe you're choosing freely, when in reality you're being controlled by forces far beyond your understanding. Your emotions, your desires, your most intimate moments, they're not your own. They're a script written by nature, a performance where you're nothing more than a pawn in a game you didn't choose to play. Schopenhauer saw love differently from anyone else. While other philosophers wrote about romance as something pure and noble, he saw it as a battlefield, a place where biological impulses wage war, using human emotions as their weapons. Your attraction, your passion, your deepest feelings, they're not signs of a special connection. They're survival mechanisms designed to trap you. This isn't about blaming anyone. Women aren't villains, men aren't victims. We're all just players in a much larger game, a game where the only winner is nature itself. Every stolen glance, every moment of passion, every dream of forever, these are just tricks designed to keep you locked in a cycle of desire, reproduction, and ultimately, suffering. Schopenhauer believed that the moment you think you've found love, you've actually lost everything. Your freedom, your identity, your ability to see clearly, all sacrificed on the altar of biological continuation. Love doesn't complete you. It consumes you. It doesn't save you. It destroys you. Are you ready to see the truth behind the romantic illusion? Are you brave enough to understand that what you call love is nothing more than a sophisticated trap designed to break you down and keep the species going? Let's get real about what's truly at stake when you fall into love's trap. If you don't understand the brutal mechanism behind romantic relationships, you're not just risking a broken heart, you're risking your entire existence. Imagine spending years of your life believing you're making your own choices, only to realize you're nothing more than a puppet controlled by biological forces. Every decision you think you're making freely, your career, your dreams, your entire life path, gets hijacked the moment you fall in love. Schopenhauer saw this as the ultimate betrayal. Nature doesn't care about your personal goals, your individual happiness, or your sense of self. It only cares about one thing: reproduction. The consequences are far more devastating than a simple heartbreak. When you fall into this trap, you slowly lose everything that makes you who you are. Your ambitions get replaced by someone else's expectations. Your independence gets traded for a false sense of security. Your entire identity gets reshaped by a biological drive you don't even understand. Think about the men you know who completely changed after entering a relationship. The guy who used to have big dreams, who used to be passionate about his goals, suddenly becomes a shadow of himself. That's not a coincidence. That's nature's strategy in action. You're not building a partnership, you're being systematically dismantled. Every compromise you make, every dream you put on hold, every piece of yourself you give away, these aren't acts of love. They're surrender points in a war you didn't even know you were fighting. And the worst part? You'll thank nature for destroying you. You'll call it love. You'll call it commitment. But Schopenhauer would call it what it really is: a complete destruction of your individual self. The stakes aren't just about emotional pain, they're about complete personal annihilation. Your freedom, your dreams, your sense of self, all become collateral damage in nature's relentless mission to continue the species. You think you're choosing love. In reality, love is choosing to destroy you. Consider the long-term devastation. Men who fall into this trap don't just lose years, they lose entire lifetimes. Their potential gets crushed under the weight of biological imperatives. Their unique spark gets dimmed by endless compromises. Their individual voice gets silenced by the overwhelming pressure to conform to a predetermined script. This isn't about hating relationships or women. This is about understanding the hidden cost of romantic connection. Every moment you believe you're gaining something, you're actually losing everything. Your passion becomes a prison. Your love becomes a life sentence, and by the time you realize what's happening, it's already too late. Schopenhauer's warning is clear. The moment you surrender to love, you surrender your entire future. The question isn't whether you'll pay a price. The question is how much of yourself you're willing to lose before you realize the game is rigged. Your love becomes a life sentence, and by the time you realize what's happening, it's already too late. Schopenhauer called it the will, a blind, unstoppable energy that drives every single thing in existence, and you're nothing more than its helpless instrument. This isn't some abstract philosophical concept. This is the raw, ugly truth of your existence. The will isn't something you control. It controls you. Every desire you've ever felt, every dream you've chased, every passion that's burned inside you. These aren't your own thoughts. They're commands from a force that doesn't care about your happiness, your dreams, or your individual existence. Think about your life as a perfect example. You believe you're making choices, but you're actually just following a script written by nature. Want to start a business? The will pushes you. Desire to find love? The will manipulates you. Dream of success? The will is pulling the strings. You're not a hero of your own story. You're a puppet, and the will is the puppet master. Schopenhauer saw human beings as nothing more than vehicles for an endless, meaningless cycle of desire and suffering. Every pleasure is just a brief pause between two periods of pain. You chase something, thinking it will make you happy. But the moment you get it, the will immediately creates a new desire. It's a never-ending treadmill of want and disappointment. Look at reproduction, the will's ultimate trick. Why do you think people feel this overwhelming drive to have children? It's not about love. It's not about creating a family. It's the will ensuring its own continuation. Your deepest emotions are nothing more than biological programming designed to keep the species going. Regardless of the personal cost to you, consider your most intense experiences. That moment of passion, that career breakthrough, that feeling of being on top of the world. These aren't achievements. These are illusions created by the will to keep you moving, to keep you suffering, to keep you productive. The will doesn't want you to be happy. It wants you to keep running, keep desiring, keep reproducing. Every living thing is trapped in this cycle. Plants grow, animals hunt, humans chase dreams. But underneath it all is the same brutal force, the will, driving everything forward with no purpose, no mercy, no understanding. You're not special. You're not unique. You're just another instrument in a massive, meaningless machine of existence. The most terrifying part? You'll fight to defend this system. You'll argue that your desires matter. You'll believe your emotions are real. But Schopenhauer would laugh. He'd tell you that you're so deeply trapped that you can't even see the chains. Your resistance is just another tool of the will, another way to keep you moving, keep you suffering. This is the brutal truth Schopenhauer understood. You are not free. You are not in control. You are a temporary manifestation of an endless, merciless force that cares nothing for your individual existence. The will uses you, breaks you, and replaces you without a second thought. Women aren't what you think they are. They're not romantic partners, emotional companions, or loving supporters. They're evolutionary strategists, masters of a game you don't even realize you're playing. Schopenhauer saw through the illusion that most men desperately want to believe. Every soft smile, every tender touch, every moment of apparent vulnerability, these aren't signs of connection. They're tactical weapons designed by nature to ensure survival. Women don't manipulate consciously. They are the manipulation. Consider how women have survived throughout history. They couldn't compete through physical strength, so they developed something far more powerful, the ability to influence without force. A single tear can do more than 1,000 words. Carefully timed silence can reshape a man's entire world. These aren't emotional responses. These are survival techniques perfected over thousands of generations. Think about the most powerful moments in your relationships. That moment when you felt like you'd do anything to protect her. That instant when her vulnerability made you drop everything. These aren't genuine emotional connections. These are evolutionary traps designed to ensure your complete submission. You believe you're being a hero. In reality, you're being strategically managed. Schopenhauer understood that women don't need to fight for power. They've mastered the art of gaining control through subtlety. A well-placed complaint, a strategic display of weakness, a carefully crafted emotional response. These are more effective weapons than any physical force. Men are programmed to protect, and women know exactly how to trigger that instinct. Look around you. Every relationship is a battlefield where one side has perfected the art of psychological warfare. Women don't need to dominate physically. They dominate through emotional precision. They reshape men's entire worlds without the men even realizing they're being reshaped. Your dreams, your goals, your entire life trajectory, all can be subtly redirected by someone who understands the psychological landscape better than you ever could. This isn't about blame. This is about understanding a brutal truth. Women aren't evil. They're instruments of nature's most sophisticated survival mechanism. Every charm, every soft gesture, every moment of apparent weakness is a carefully designed strategy to ensure continuation of the species. You think you're choosing. You're actually being chosen. The most dangerous weapon isn't a sword or a gun. It's the ability to make a man believe he's in control while completely controlling him. Women have perfected this art over millennia. They don't need physical strength. They need only understand the psychological triggers that make men surrender. Everything, their freedom, their dreams, their entire sense of self. Schopenhauer saw this with brutal clarity. Women aren't romantic partners. They're the most effective soldiers in nature's endless war of survival. And the most terrifying part? You'll thank them while they're conquering you. So how do you escape a trap designed by nature itself? Schopenhauer didn't offer comfort. He offered something far more powerful. The path of radical detachment. Most people will never break free. They'll continue dancing to nature's tune, believing they're making their own choices. But for the rare few willing to see the truth, there's a way out. Not through rebellion, not through fighting, but through complete, ruthless detachment. Detachment isn't about hating women or relationships. It's about seeing through the illusion. It means recognizing that every desire, every passionate feeling, every romantic dream is nothing more than a biological trick. Your job is not to fight these feelings. Your job is to observe them without being consumed. Imagine standing outside, your own life, watching your emotions like a scientist observes an experiment. That tear-jerking moment that used to control you, now it's just a predictable biological response. That rush of passion, nothing more than chemical signals designed to make you reproduce. Your deepest feelings become nothing more than data points. In nature's grand experiment, Schopenhauer believed the only true freedom comes from renouncing desire itself. Not just desire for women, but desire for anything. Your ambitions, your dreams, your entire concept of happiness. These are chains holding you down. The moment you stop wanting, you start seeing clearly. The moment you become indifferent, you become free. This isn't a path for everyone. Most men are too weak, too trapped in their own illusions. They'll read this and immediately reject it. They'll rush back to their romantic fantasies, their dreams of connection, their belief in true love. That's exactly how the will wants them to react. Rejection is just another tool of control. True liberation comes from a radical acceptance. Accept that you're nothing more than a temporary vessel for an endless, meaningless force. Accept that your emotions are not your own. Accept that every moment of joy is just a brief pause between suffering. This isn't pessimism. This is the ultimate form of power. Look at the men around you trapped in relationships, in jobs, in lives they never chose. They believe they're building something. They're actually just being consumed. Detachment offers something different. A life where you're no longer a slave to biological impulses. A life where you see the game but refuse to play. Schopenhauer's final warning is simple. You have two choices. You can continue being a prisoner, believing in the romantic illusions that nature has designed to control you. Or you can step back, see the truth, and choose a different path. A path of total, ruthless freedom. The choice is yours. But remember, even your choice is just another move in a game you didn't create. This isn't a message of hope. This is a warning. Schopenhauer didn't write to comfort you. He wrote to expose the brutal truth that most people are too afraid to see. You are not here to be happy. You are not here to find love. You are here to survive the illusions long enough to understand them. Every romantic story you've been told is a lie. Every movie, every song, every fairy tale, they're carefully designed traps meant to keep you running on nature's endless wheel of desire and suffering. You think you're choosing. You're actually being chosen. Look around you. See the men trapped in relationships they never wanted. Watch how dreams get crushed, how individual identities get dissolved, how personal potential gets sacrificed on the altar of biological continuation. This isn't pessimism. This is reality. Schopenhauer offered something most philosophers never dare to give: complete, Unfiltered truth. Not the truth you want to hear, the truth you need to hear. That love is not a blessing, it's a sentence. That relationships are not connections, they're negotiations of power. That your deepest emotions are not your own, they're nature's most sophisticated weapons. The world will tempt you, love will beckon you, desire will promise you everything. But beneath it all is the same cold whisper. Suffer. Continue the species. Lose yourself. You have two paths. You can continue believing in the romantic illusions, running in the same circle millions have run before you. Or you can step back, see the game, refuse to play. Schopenhauer's final challenge is simple. Will you be another victim of nature's trap? Or will you be the rare one who sees through the illusion? The choice is yours. But remember, even your choice is just another move in a game you didn't create. In a world designed to break you with beauty, perhaps the ultimate rebellion is simply to look and not reach.